thing is, we're even doing this an hour later. Are we live again?
Crystal clear.
Crystal clear. So it's working this time. Now we just got to get everybody else back in.
Don't try turning it off and on again.
It's a good thing we have an IT department. We just cannot have a live stream without problems.
Perfect. Now we just we're coming back over.
Okay, so we fixed the lag problem. It seems it actually looks like it's working well.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully the crew will pop back over. Can we send them a message at all?
Pink button.
Well, the important thing is we're back up and running. The technical issues were resolved because they always have to be. We can't do a live stream without nothing but trouble to get us going, either late or fuzzy or no audio or what have you. So hopefully the rest of you guys that were in there at the initial start when everything went wrong will pop back in. For those of you who are just joining in, welcome. As I mentioned earlier, in case you missed it during the technical issue, it's the Canadian Thanksgiving weekend, and so we're gonna do a bit of cooking. We're gonna make some pop-ups. I've got everything I need to fiddle around and make some pop-ups today. Got some flavors, got some dyes, got some pop-up mix, and a few other little secret ingredients. We're gonna do it all right here today. Hopefully doesn't take too long. There are certain elements to bait making, especially for carp, that I don't have here. So we're gonna have to kind of do it the way we normally get stuck doing it, not having certain tools. But we'll discuss that when we get to that point. Hopefully everybody's doing well, enjoying the long weekend, getting out on the bank. We did really, really well last weekend. Fished with a bunch of guys that have some involvement with the Canada Carp Cup, and everybody except Demir caught. I don't want to.
You gotta put that asterisk on there because I really didn't catch.
Your rig, your bait, your rod.
You know, I'm not saying I didn't catch it. It's just the asterisk saying that I really wasn't involved in that in any way.
There was only two elements. You were involved. There was only two elements that you could technically say you weren't involved. One, you were holding the wrong rod, and two, I was faster to it than you were because I was standing right next to it.
Yeah.
But it was your fish.
Yes.
So, man, we had what, 6 bites that day, between 6 of us.
Yep.
Or 5 of us. There was 5. Dave caught 5, but he didn't fish.
He didn't fish.
So there's 5 of us. We had 6 bites. 3 fish were lost, 2 of which were definitely really big. A 23 and change came in, and then two 27 pounders plus ounces. So a really, really good day last week. That was on Sunday. And then you and Kevin went out on Wednesday evening. I popped out and joined in. We were only out for what, 2 hours, 3 hours. Kevin got a nice fish, completely clueless that the fish had actually hit and started taking line. Goldie and I are standing there watching the reel turn and line coming off the reel. And because Kevin wasn't used to that spot, he just assumed weeds had drifted into his line and was taking his line, or that it was current, and completely had no clue. So he wasn't even sure what to do. And I remember I walked over to my rod just to check it, and I heard him yell, "Should I check my line or should I just leave it?" So I told him to check it because, you know, you don't want it to just keep pulling line. Apparently he never noticed it taking line, and when he cranked down to lift it up, there was fish on there. It turned out to be about 17, 18 pounds. So yeah, it was pretty funny. But, you know, we can always make fun of Kevin for that. But it's good. That's 2 sessions at this spot, a brand new spot, one that we've never properly fished for carp before, that is literally a stone's throw from here. And we've had 4 fish out, you know, with minimal effort, I would say. We just kind of went there, put lines in, and had a social in both cases. So we're going to go there tomorrow, and we are going to have some cameras with us. I'm not sure what we're going to film, but we're gonna have the cameras with us in case something pretty awesome happens. we're just going to spend the day there, relax, and then I think we're out Thanksgiving Monday as well for a bit in the morning, try and get another new spot, and then who knows from there. Um, but yeah, should be enjoyable. I'm really enjoying the fall fishing. I always do, but the fact that we've had so many quality fish the last couple times out, really, really happy about that. Now, the odd thing about it is here I am wanting to make pop-ups today, and it's not what I caught my fish on. I caught on a corn stack. Your fish came from a corn stack. And the other fish that came out from Len and Dave, they were on corn stacks, were they not?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
But Kevin caught on a bottom bait with half a pop-up. So kind of like a partial snowman rig. Because he would not listen. I told him, use a corn stack, cast here. What did he do? He cast over there and used something else. Demir tried a whole plethora of baits and didn't catch. But, you know, as much as I want to give him a hard time for blanking while the rest of us caught, here we are doing a live stream in my basement. He's out in Montreal with some more friends, and they had 3 fish by 7 o'clock this morning. Good quality ones too. So hopefully we'll get more updates from him through the day or through the weekend as they do well over there. We got people back in the chat.
Just Kappa and Cody.
Kappa and Cody. Okay, good. So, I have a plan in mind for the flavors and the colors that I was thinking of doing today. I'm just going to make one batch of pop-ups. I don't want to get too involved with the details. But do Kappa or Cody have any suggestions? I got the orange, the white, and the purple out for color-wise. My thoughts were to do like a really washed out kind of purple color. So if you guys have an opinion on that, let me know. I have a couple other colors. I wanted to do pink, but I don't have pink. I have yellow, white, orange, brown, purple. What else do we got here? Yeah, that's all the colors I have. And then flavor-wise, we have milky toffee, pineapple, spice bee, banana and pear, aniseed, my secret ingredient. What else? We got some vanilla in here. So this is the mystical awesomeness of ingredients that we use to make Goldie's amazingly successful vanilla pop-ups. Also the milky toffee and almond ones that I did that have all caught fish. We've used these basic ingredients that we hear, just this small assortment, you know, not even that much. But let's just see, what do the guys think as far as colors or flavors go, if they got any suggestions before I kind of get into what I'm thinking. We still have them, right?
Okay, so Kappa's going purple washed out, and Cody's going half white, half orange.
Half white, half orange. Okay. Well, purple washed out is what my plan was. So I like that idea, Kappa, because it goes along with what I was thinking. Half white, half orange would be neat, but then I would have to do technically 2 batches with some white, some orange, and then I'd have to kind of roll them together, and a little bit more advanced for me right now, I think. Especially since we don't have a rolling table. That'll get interesting as well later. So since Kappa is going along with the color mix, Cody, what do you think about flavors? Now, obviously, we already have some commercially available ones like pineapple and stuff like that I use regularly. I want to put together a combination here. Do you have any suggestions for a color flavor combination? What are you thinking? Because I had a plan, and I may change it if your idea is better. You're Facebooking. Hey, you're looking at me on Facebook. That's cool.
No, I'm sharing you on Facebook.
Oh, you're sharing me on Facebook. Let's see. Cody, got any suggestions for flavor yet?
No.
No? It's going to run out of time, and I'm just going to do what my plan was.
Oh, you need to check your inbox, eh?
Oh, that's just notifications and stuff, yeah. You're an admin, and you can check them too.
Better things to do.
You have better things to do, like playing a video game where you hunt alligators. And
Oh, crikey! I
get
almost
eaten.
did it.
You got eaten.
I did get eaten.
You got eaten like several
I
times.
almost did it.
Almost did what?
Aniseed vanilla.
Aniseed and vanilla.
But I almost said the other one.
You all, oh, interesting, yeah. Okay, aniseed and vanilla, that's an interesting idea. Let's see here. I have pure vanilla and French vanilla. Ooh, French vanilla. Ooh la la. Let's see what they smell like together. They kind of have the same sharpness. You can't really separate one from the other. Not against it though. I think we'll have some of that in there because they have that same, like I said, that same kind of sharpness. But you've got a bit of softness coming from the French vanilla. So we'll definitely have some of that in there. Well, now having a French vanilla in there, I'm wondering about the milky toffee. Because you've got some softness in this, you got some softness in that. I'm just going to sit here and sniff liquids. That's how I'm going to spend the live stream. Ooh, Goldie. No. You gotta give this a whiffer.
Sniff your weird concoction.
It's not mine. It's Cody's. Here.
Orange Creamsicle 2020. Wonder who that is.
Oh, that's Will. Yeah. Shut up, Will. You gotta have a whiff of this. Sure, put some acidic stuff in your face so that it doesn't smell the same.
Oh no, it's not vanilla.
No, it's not. We're not making vanilla.
That's all I know.
But what do you think?
Yeah, it should work.
It's kind of well-rounded, eh? Orange creamsicle, eh? Doesn't work down here, Will. Okay, yeah, I think that's what we'll go with. Milky toffee, aniseed, some French vanilla, and the secret one that goes in here because that kind of, I find that really binds other flavors together and kind of helps the aromas blend a bit. And we're going to go with a washed out purple. So I'm going to need a really tiny amount of this. So white. And yeah, I think we're just about ready to get started with some mixing. What else does Will have to say? Because I'm sure he said 30 things by now.
Not yet.
Good stuff. So I know Will had a really nice fish the other day. What about Cody or Kappa? Have they had any good fish lately?
Kappa just got home from France. He had nothing. His brother-in-law had 4 sturgeons.
You went to France and had nothing? That's a shame. It was a good trip though, right? Like you had a good time? 4 sturgeon, that would be cool. I still have yet to land a sturgeon. Okay, some paper towels out here. It's been, what, 2 years, 3 years since we made the batch of vanilla. We haven't made any bait since. In and around there. So we'll see how rusty I am. We're going to do a 1 egg mix, which should keep it relatively simple and not too complex. You going to get your hands dirty today, or are you just going to make me do all the work?
No, I'm running up and down the stairs to watch my corn. So.
Oh, because you're making bait for tomorrow still. Okay. All right. Oh. Kids, don't try this at home. Sharp objects and eggs are dangerous. What do we got?
Kappa says it was a nice relaxing trip.
Nice relaxing trip. Oh, that's good. Better to have a trip where you blank but still have a good time than catch 30 fish and be angry about something, which is what tends to happen to me because I catch all the fish and make Will angry. All right, so I got a little mixing bowl, little measuring spoon, which is probably not even close to the size that I need. Need a fork, need a kniff, and yeah, all the stuff. So I'm gonna start the way there's tons of videos online about how to do this. The way I always saw it done was always do your wet mix first, then add the dry to it. I did watch one video. I haven't been able to find it since, but I did watch one video where the guy started out with his dry ingredients and then just had like a big batch of his liquid that he would like make more out of the following week or a couple of days later. So he just had this massive batch of liquid and would add it to the dry mix. So I suppose that would work if you have lots of your liquid, but we're just going to kind of follow the general rule. Just use one large egg. That's what I didn't do. I didn't bring a garbage can down. All right. One large egg. Probably not as large as I wanted it to be. We need to get like ostrich eggs to do pop-ups. Can we get like massive eggs? There's got to be an emu farm around here somewhere.
There is, just in St. Catharines.
Okay, so let's go get some emu eggs and make pop-ups. Wouldn't that be awesome? Yeah. It's going to be a very small batch of pop-ups, which is good because if the flavor and the color sucks, we can blame everybody else. And then what? It better not be Will being a jerk.
Nope, somebody else.
Somebody else.
He had 3 runs, all drops. The last one was a pig.
Who's that?
Kappa. Sorry.
Oh, nice. It's too
Couldn't
bad.
find a bite.
Too bad. But hey, at least it was a good trip, right? What else? Who
Someone's using their marker float.
out fishing right now using my marker float? Well, good. Somebody's got to use it. I couldn't use mine to save my life. All right, let's see here. All right, so now we've got the kind of the flavors picked out, but what consistency, like how much of each flavor to round it all out nicely. Well, let's add a shot of the French vanilla. That came out way faster than I thought. Okay, so we got lots of French vanilla in there. Now the milky toffee I'm going to be a little bit sparing on. Do maybe just shy of half a teaspoon. And aniseed. This one's from Richworth. Pretty much everything else I have is from Mainline because I just find it easier to get pretty much everywhere. I'm going to do about the same amount as the milky toffee aniseed. Now, apparently you never need very much of this stuff because they're always really concentrated. So you don't want to go overboard. And then there's the secret ingredient here. I better be more careful with that one. Now this stuff, I'm not saying what it is because it's kind of like my secret additive, but that goes into every batch of baits that I make. I just find that it, the one batch that I did that didn't have that in it, caught significantly less fish than the ones that I did use it in, so it always goes in. Just a good mix. Should have got a chef's hat, an apron, got all fancy. Should have done some like autumn decor, leaves and pumpkins and crap all back there, but I didn't because 1, I'm lazy, and 2, that's stupid. All right. Oh, wow. That smells amazing. That smells like cake. Oh, wow. That smells like birthday cake. That is wicked.
What do we got going on here?
Just saying it's a brilliant idea, Johnny boy. What's a brilliant idea? Not yours. Pumpkin spice pop-ups. Oh, you are evil. However, I do, if I had something to give us a hint of pumpkin flavor, I have some spice bee, and that would really round that out very well. But I'm not going out fishing for women. I'm going out fishing for fish. So I don't need pumpkin spice. Sweet Aid. I do not have Sweet Aid. I know that there's some of those other things I can get to kind of help smooth out the flavorings and stuff. If you're inquiring about this, it's not Sweet Aid. It's another flavor. It's another extract like the vanilla and stuff, but it's something else. I'm not saying what. But Sweet Aid is, I would assume that's probably something I should get in the future. Spice bee, aniseed, and banana. I'd be worried about the banana overpowering the other two, but I like where you're going with that. This smells like cake. Like, I think it's the vanilla doing it, but it smells like cupcakes or birthday cake. Interesting. All right, so I'm going to start with white for the dye because we want this really light. Start with a little bit first, just to get this to go into a lighter color. And then once we've got it nice and white, then we'll add the purple to try and get it that washed out purple color. Definitely need more white. I'm almost out of white. This is kind of fun, I have to say. I like the guys are coming up with some different flavor and color combinations. Do you see Will said pumpkin spice?
We were talking about that.
Who, you and him?
No. Wasn't it you and I?
No, pumpkin spice is stupid.
Must have been something else. It's going to Len then.
Maybe. Len wouldn't go along with pumpkin spice.
We were talking about it as a good fall. Brings up the spice.
Bring all the chickies and their Starbucks and Ugg boots out too.
See, you were part of that conversation because it's exactly what you said last time.
That's what I always say when I hear about pumpkin spice. Okay, I'm just adding the white little bit by little bit because I'm getting really low, and I don't want to just throw as much in as possible and have it go white and realize that I didn't need quite that much. Right?
Sure. I wasn't paying attention.
I know. You're just like Will. You guys are there, but you don't really pay attention to what I'm saying or what I'm doing. It's just, you guys are in your own little secret club. It's not very white. The French vanilla is killing us on this one.
Do you have a spice?
I have a spice bee, yeah. So we could make a spice one later, but we need like a pumpkin flavoring for that, and then I'll just never use it because I don't like the idea.
Cody with spice bee, banana, and aniseed.
Yeah, I saw that, and I like the idea, but I'm worried that the banana might overtake the other two.
Yeah, because you were saying that before we went live.
That banana was
The banana and the
really,
pear
really
were
strong. I think that's as white as we're gonna get. It's just not going any whiter, probably because of the French vanilla.
Yeah, because it's dark, isn't it?
What's that?
That's
I
you
went-
didn't get the.
I went with the French.
Yeah.
Okay. So
You need to get the clear one.
yeah. Now this stuff, this is the CC More Floral Purple bait dye. This stuff is like stupid strong, so I gotta be just really careful with this that I don't go too much. Like that's not even enough to really see, let alone actually add in there. That's probably way too much too. We're getting a hint of purple in there. Just wow. I thought that would have probably done it.
I'll have to get some krill.
Some krill, yeah. I want to get a bunch of other flavors. I definitely want to use more fishy flavors next year. Like with the Monster Carp Tackle Magic Muscle Boilies that we've been using. We've been catching with those. Dave's been catching with those. So I want to get going on some more fishy flavors. Just because, like, even though we got a lot of big catfish where we fish, I'm willing to take the risk of catching a couple of big catfish if it'll put more big carp on the bank using fishy stuff. That's kind of going pinkish, isn't it?
A little bit.
I think, eh?
Yep.
I like that. But it smells like cupcakes.
Yes, it does. I can smell it from here.
So we don't have a name for this yet, because we kind of got the ideas from the guys and you know, the kind of the plan that we had going in. So we'll have to come up with a name for this, but not unless it catches. So maybe this stuff, we finish this today, let it sit all day tomorrow. We'll try this out on Monday. And if it catches, we'll put a poll out there to see what everybody wants to name it. What do you think? Do we think we want to go a little bit more purple with that? I don't know. Can anybody else see that? Probably not, eh? Not from that weird angle.
No, there's too much bright lights.
So it's almost like a skin color, isn't it?
Yep.
Do we want to go more purple or do we want to leave it like this? Boiling is going to take a little bit of the color away. And you know, I like white baits as well. I was kind of going for like a washed out purple, washed out pink kind of color as best we could get. So it's not going to be a fluoro pink, but it's definitely pinky. I think we'll stick with that. I had this stuff on my fingers last time and I smeared it across a shirt and completely ruined a shirt. Ooh, you know what? You imagine this as like a coffee creamer? Dump it right in, try it out. All right. Now, I'm not going to do this today because I kind of like this the way it is. But quite often what I'll do is I'll throw a little pinch of black pepper if I'm doing like a brighter color like a yellow or a white, just to have a little bit of a fleck in there. I find that tends to help. Tend to get a little bit better response from the fish because it's not just the solid bright color, it's kind of broken up a little bit. I'm not going to do that with this one because the purple dye has kind of made its own little fleck in there itself. So we're just gonna leave it as, excuse me, wicked heartburn. We're gonna leave that as, and hopefully those little purple spots will be kind of showing through the pink. So now, pop-up mix, I use Polaris pop-up mix from Mainline. I think I said earlier, it's the one I find most accessible.
I didn't like a bakery down here.
I didn't bring a spoon down here. Can I have a spoon, please, Goldie? While we're waiting for the spoon. So Kappa mentioned how it's been going for him lately. What about everybody else? I know Will had one. What about Cody? Have you had a fish? I know you were away on a trip. Let's see here. Add more purple, they will wash out. What he says. You guys say I should put more purple in. Okay. Kevin, hello. That's not my catchphrase. That's somebody else's. Green lip mussel powder. I've heard of that one. I'm going to do fishy pop-ups next season. Stuff is killer. GLM. Okay. Yeah, guys, I've heard of GLM. I will definitely get on that when we do some fishy stuff. They're teaming up on me. They're saying I need to add more purple.
Let's add more purple.
Well, I'm going to. The masses have spoken.
Mussel powder.
Is that a lot? Is that too much? I hope that didn't overdo it. If it does, I'm totally blaming Will and nobody else. Just a pinch, John. Esterberry pop-ups I need to make. Esterberry. That sounds interesting. Oh, of course Kevin's calling me. He should be watching live. I'm hanging up on him. Okay, you guys saw that. He's interrupting. I hung up on him. Standard rules apply. Don't interrupt the live stream with a cell phone call. Which is funny because now in about 3 minutes he's going to call Goldie, and it's Goldie's phone that's actually doing this. So I better warn him. Let's see here. All right. Doing the live stream. Leave me alone. There, done. It's about as polite as I get. All right. Okay, so I added that extra purple in, guys. It's definitely more purpley, but it's still really washed out. So some of that kind of pinky skin tone that was there is not there now. Like that's kind of dissipated, and we really do have a washed out purple. This is looking good. Smells awesome. All right, have a spoon. And we're just going to add this bit by bit, pop-up mix. It's so fluffy. These are going to be like the best cupcakes ever. We got here. I have to use zebra mussel extract with good success. Where did you get your zebra mussel extract? Because I'd be all over that. Pretty much everywhere we fish, where the bigger fish are like just riddled with zebra mussels. Belacan? I'll have to try that. I've seen a lot of the other guys use that in their mixes before as well. Don't know what it is or what it's supposed to do, but I'll certainly look into that one more. Lacquer baits out of Chicago. Probably not something they can ship to Canada, but I will look into that, Kevin. Thank you. It's not like I can say your ideas are bad. You gave us the idea for that Black Widow rod review, and that's one of the most popular videos we've ever done. So thank you again for that. Oh my God, Kevin. We're doing a live stream. Leave us alone. He's texting me a novel. I think it was Will doing it. They ship via UPS. Okay, we'll look into that one for sure. Fermented shrimp paste, that Belacan. Fermented shrimp paste. Why don't they just call it fermented shrimp? Why do they give it a weird name like that? Okay. The frosting is thickening up here. Oh, this stuff smells amazing. If I catch a fish on this, man, this is going to be awesome. This is definitely not one that Goldie's going to. Wow. It's almost, it's hard to say if it's a washed out purple or if it's actually just gone pink. It looks amazing. We're getting there. And like I said, normally when I do this, I just take my time. I don't worry about kind of time restrictions, but you know, I don't want to be out here all day doing this. All right, so that last bit that I added in there definitely thickened her right up. I'm definitely getting a good paste now. Just got to get it to pick up everything else that's in the bowl. So still a little bit on the sticky side. Only going to be able to go so much further before I have to get my hands in there. Hoping that you bag a lump with it, John. Well, I'll be satisfied if I get a fish with it. But like I said, having caught some really quality fish at the spot we've been hitting lately, I'd say that the chances at a lump are really high. As I said, the two of the fish that were lost, unfortunately that Dave lost last weekend, were just massive. The first one got into the current, took probably 100 yards or more of line, and just never stopped. Eventually the hook came out when he was trying to tighten down to it. The second one, which we saw because the hook come out literally half a net rod length away, like I was ready to scoop. It just had to come that little bit closer, and it came up and turned, and I saw this massive fish and the hook come out, and I was gutted for him, but it was a big fish. Okay, so now we're going to start getting really sparing, really light with the powder, just so we can get it dried out enough to get it by hand and pick up all the bits in the bowl here. Sticky. I've been wanting to do this, like I said, as a video for a long time, but maybe this is the way to have done it, because this is more fun. Normally I would just sit down and watch a movie and make the bait and don't pay attention to the clock, and you know, it's not as much excitement in it as that. Let's see here. Malaysian Southeast Asian cooking additive. Watch him add too much Polaris mix. Yeah. So, shut up, Will. Baby steps. You know what they say about adding too much Polaris mix? Just makes your pop-ups work, because you know they float better. So there. Still really sticky. So that consistency right now is about the consistency of a really thick frosting. Still quite wet. What's up, Goldilocks? I'm trying to keep up with the comments. Sorry, smoking my corn. Bill's being offensive.
Oh well, that's new.
close. It's just still that little bit too sticky. So apparently we're supposed to look into whacker baits in Chicago.
I see that.
We can get like a zebra mussel extract. How awesome would that be?
You just go down to the pier and just scrape some off the
Off the rocks, yeah. But then that doesn't mean it'll keep, right? Like it's got to have some kind of a preservative in it.
It's just you, Cody. There's not a dog sleeping right down over there.
Oh yeah, she's on her pillow, snoring away.
Yeah, Cody just said he could hear a dog snoring.
Yeah. Well, it's better that she's snoring because what she was doing earlier while we were setting everything up was less pleasant, but just as noisy.
Kevin's going to bring some Italian over and show us how this is really done.
What?
Kevin?
Which Kevin?
Italian Kevin?
Oh, the one that's been texting me like crazy? Was he in there now?
He's in here now. He's going to bring some Italian over for us. Show us how it's really done.
Some Italian over. So this is going to be full of wine and anger then. I had to ignore him because he was texting and messaging me a novel. You'd think Will was doing it, but I knew he was in there. He called. Like he interrupted the live stream by calling, like jackass.
Now I have to go back and watch this.
All right, so I'm not quite getting it right. It's I don't want to add too much because then I prove Will correct. But it's just still that little bit too sticky. Color's turning out well though.
Fast forward this. This is boring.
Shut up. You're gonna make me swear.
Oh, you almost did.
I'm getting close.
Oh, espresso. That's Kevin.
Is he gonna bring some over? Wait a minute, I thought he was in Buffalo today.
Could be.
Okay. All right. Definitely getting better. Really pink. I like it. Still a little bit sticky. When I do this right, I don't have all this crap on my hands. So I'm almost there. Need a soundproof bowl so it's not so bad for the microphone. It's all sticking to my hand still, but it's like almost dry. So I'm not quite doing it right, but I'm not doing it wrong yet.
You been reading this?
No. I'm busy.
Salty caramel?
Salted caramel. Whose idea is that?
Oh, sorry. Salted caramel coffee pop-ups.
Whose idea?
Cody. I totally look at your face. That's it.
Well, I know people have used coffee flavored baits before, and I've heard of fish caught on it, but I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that one.
You need to work on your British accent.
My British accent.
So you can be Julia Childs of pop-ups.
Oh, right now we're mixing up the pink.
Oh, okay. Maybe not.
Yeah. Let's not do that. Because that's how bad it would be. Because I couldn't even throw an accent in there. I just had to get really high pitched and stupid. And don't say that I need to do an accent, because then Will's just going to try to start typing in one.
No, he's gone.
He's gone?
Yeah.
Like forever?
No.
Oh. Where'd he go?
Probably at work.
Oh. Is he working today?
I have no idea.
I bet he doesn't either. Okay. A bit more. This feels so light and fluffy, like best cupcakes ever. This is probably... Now, if I remember right, the last time we made these, when we made the vanilla ones, it seemed a little bit more dense, didn't it? Like, this is really light, really airy.
Well, isn't that what you want?
Yeah. But
It should be
vanilla's...
a little bit more purple.
We've not had any issues with the vanilla being heavy or anything. They floated great.
Yep. Yeah, it should have been more purple.
Really?
Yeah, it's a little bit too...
You don't think... I like that it's like a washed out pink. Not quite white. It's not kind of in your face. Too bright. Just a little bit sticky. You're really bored, aren't you?
Or I'm not one of those hosts in the morning shows where they have intelligent things to say while somebody's preparing food.
Oh. When do you have intelligent things to say? Just so I
In
can
my
keep
sleep.
track. Oh, okay. It's like playing with really messy Play-Doh. You see, it gets that sticky. Just not getting enough in there. I'll get this right at some point.
Probably should have done it back before we went live,
Why?
so you could remember how to do this.
I have a video record of how to do this.
Watch it over and over again.
It might be boring as can be. Like if I was making
it's so
pork
boring
chops-
we're losing people. People are just leaving.
Yeah, but you said it was just Will. The other guys are more loyal.
Yeah.
They'll stick around and watch. Right?
They're probably sleeping now.
Well, they could be, but
47 minutes of watching you play with your dough is kind of boring.
well, we're almost at the point where we're going to start rolling them and then boiling them. Because I think I got it right now. I am going to clean my hands a bit first. Making a mess. I don't care who you are. Any great chef, if their kitchen is clean, they suck at cooking. It's got to be a mess. Okay. So the plan is we're going to kind of make some round and some kind of like dumbbell like. I don't have a rolling table, so we just do all this by hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just let that sit for a second.
Don't worry, Kappa, you didn't miss anything.
Well, I'm just going to pop out, clean my hands, and then I'll be right back and we're going to start.
Great, so I get to stare at the camera for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, but don't do weird Goldie stuff. Like actually get some interaction going. We're going to roll this out and we're going to try actually boiling some up. Talk, interact, don't be weird.
Okay. I'm gonna drink.
Stuff's so sticky. You're being weird again, aren't you? There's seriously something wrong with you.
I'm sticking to my script.
Your script. Yeah, so am I. You wrote it. That's a little better. Okay, so to just kind of have everything ready, what I tend to do is I have a tray. So if you ever been to a Tim Hortons or probably any kind of like donut shop, they have these metal trays where they put the breads and stuff in. And I just have this like rubber kind of screen. I used to use stainless steel screens, but I kept cutting my hands on the sides. Just a great little tray to dry this stuff on. You know, it can sit on anything that's elevated. The mesh helps keep the stuff in there and also up off the steel. I find that, you know, when it says to dry for like 24 hours or 48 hours, I find that the stuff actually dries even faster on these. Probably just because there's air all the way around it. There's actually really no spot for any moisture to sit. Another thing I do is I use distilled water when I boil, because I just find it tonight. We just get better results out of it. Probably put way too much water in that. Yeah, don't use tap water unless you boil it for a little bit longer, because for some reason the bites we do with tap water don't get the fast reaction as we do with distilled water. Oh yeah, this stuff's better. This is gonna be good stuff. It's gonna be a good batch. So what I will do is we're going to be using these. I'll probably start using some of these on Monday, once we let them sit for 36 hours or so. We'll use some of these Monday. We'll mention these in the video that we film on Monday, and if we catch on them, we'll put a poll up or a separate video. We'll do something to get the word out there that they worked, and we'll get everybody involved with coming up with a name for them. All right. I feel like I'm missing a step. Hopefully this isn't too loud. Generally speaking, you're not supposed to use these kind of stoves indoors. I don't want to drag all this stuff up to the kitchen, so we're gonna kind of break a rule. Well, that's not gonna be good. My sparker is not sparking where it's supposed to. My sparker is broken. All right, I need my lighter, which I should have up on top where my incense burner is. So now I need to glue that. That's entirely Will's fault. Yep, totally Will's fault. Thank you. I have made fire. All right, now one of the things that happens if you haven't done this yourself before is the boiling process obviously takes some of the color and some of the flavor out. Whenever I tend to have that happen, I take a little bit of the scent that's in the bait and put it in the water, just so that there's already some flavor in there. In this particular case, I'm putting something else in because it's a little bit thicker. It's like a more of an oil. Same kind of scent mix, but I just find that once the water boils and you put the bait in, it then loses less flavor, like it loses less scent. So let's just get that up on there. I'm gonna make such a mess that's gonna boil over.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Compelling television.
Compelling television. It's YouTube. It doesn't need to be compelling.
Oh.
It just needs to be on the internet. People will find it, Goldie. This is how it works. All right. So now, as I said, I don't have a rolling table. All I got is my hands. So what I tend to do at this point is take a section off and roll them into sausages, kind of the diameter of approximately of the baits that I want to make. I don't worry about getting them perfectly round like I would if I had a rolling table, because, well, it doesn't matter. All the vanilla ones we made, they were never very round, and they catch absolutely everywhere. We have yet to go to a venue where the vanilla hasn't caught. So I've probably got too much stuff in the way here, but this is stretching out really thin, so it might still be a little bit wetter than it should have been, but oh well. So I try to roll it out into these long sausages. Sometimes they can be thinner. It doesn't have to be perfect. And then what I do is I get a knife that's covered in purple dye, and I just cut tiny sections out. And you know, some will be bigger than others because it's not a consistent diameter all the way along the little sausage. You get a good variation, and then when you roll them up, you have lots of different sizes. And I just think that that helps overall. You know, you're never really putting the same size hook bait out. And if you're worried about wanting to have critically balanced rigs out there, you know, stick with the ones that are more uniform in size. What I tend to do is I'll use a slightly smaller hook so that I can kind of accommodate everything. She's really snoring away. So I'll do a batch of kind of like semi-small ones, then we'll do a batch of like much bigger ones, just so we have a good variation in size. But as I was saying when you were away, we don't worry about how perfectly round they are. The odd shaped ones with the vanilla and stuff caught just fine, haven't they?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think the fish really care what they look like, as long as they smell pretty.
So you can see they're not they're roundish, really, and that's really all we do. Sometimes we'll I really like using dumbbells, so just kind of forming them into that shape is another good thing to do. You can have nice little dumbbells, kind of like little marshmallows. I don't know. Personally, I think dumbbells do better than round baits, but that's just my observation. But these are all relatively small. I think the biggest one that's there is maybe 14 millimeters. So having a good variation in size gives you lots of options. If the fish don't want something big, you have the smaller ones. You don't have to have a bunch of different size rolling tables. You know, I know why this is so captivating, Goldie. It's because you're sitting there saying nothing. You're not participating.
When I was upstairs stirring my corn, I'm thinking, we're like Wayne's World. I'm Garth and you're Wayne.
Garth was more interesting.
Yeah,
Garth was the fan favorite.
But when Wayne left, Garth just sat there and stared at the camera.
Bait world, party time, excellent. All right, that's getting hot. So another nice thing about having some of the smaller ones in here, they're great toppers for snowman rigs. That's one thing. I tend to go through a lot of the 12 mil baits real fast, 10 and 12 mils, because I use them on snowmans or I use them on tiny rigs, like the recent video we did at the little reservoir, using really small baits with that German rig. You're laughing at me again.
No, I'm laughing at the combinations they're coming up with. So,
are they good?
coconut tuna, pineapple squid, mainline, cell base, and coconut. shrimp, liver, and krill.
Shrimp liver and krill. How do you cut out the shrimp livers? They got to be like super tiny.
That'll take hours.
So we're gonna boil this up, and that'll be the only batch that we actually do on camera. I'll do these a little bit later in different sizes, but this will give you the idea of exactly how we go about it. I'm sure you guys have all made baits yourself. If not, hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea of kind of how we do it, which is pretty much like how everybody else does it. It's just we do it more fun. But I don't know how well the color shows up, but man, I really like this color.
They look really white.
But they're not.
Well, that's why I'll take a picture and it'll last longer.
You know, when my hands were more steady, I used to get these really round. Now, not so much. But just wait for the water to boil. I have here an old batch that I did. These I did more as wafters. And these were brown with, you can see the flecks of pepper and stuff like that. I don't know how well that shows up. This one I did more of like a meaty flavor. It was the new Grange flavor from Mainline with a few other additives. I had a little bit of birdseed mix in there. And these are wafters. They take on a little water and they tend to get a little soft on the outside. They break down really, really slowly. So it's kind of like a dissolvable wafter. Had a number of fish on these, but not in as many places as we caught on like the vanilla. That one seems to catch really well in still waters. Anywhere I go with even a hint of current, the fish don't touch it. So I don't know, maybe when it dissolves it makes like a little cloud around it.
We'll have to see in the water.
Yeah, we'll have to try it sometime. I haven't even used those ones this year, but last year we caught fish with them. So we got this little batch on the go. Water's almost boiled. Heat that up a bit more. Keep going faster. Appreciate everybody joining in and throwing in your suggestions, as weird as they may be. What we got going on here? Yeah, I don't think DNA ships to Canada at all. A lot of those companies over there don't ship to Canada, unfortunately. Yeah, places that ship to Big Carp Tackle, that's great. Big Carp Tackle has a warning right there when you go to order on their website that if the baits and stuff get stopped at the border and they don't make it to you, that's your own fault. I'm not willing to take that kind of risk to have my money thrown away, as much as I would love to try some of those baits. SLK pellet with matching pop-up and feed. I've heard nothing but good things about DNA baits. You know, I'd like to give them a try. I also really want to try Baitworks at some point. Just gotta get my hands on them somehow. So if anybody wants to send us some baits, we can hook you up with an address to send them to for our P.O. box, which would be awesome. Definitely try them and throw the shout out thanks to you in whatever video we try them. But yeah, it's just tricky in Canada because you can get a lot of the stuff in the States, but then getting it over here, it's ridiculous. Stuff I can order from the UK, I can save so much money ordering direct from the UK than I can from ordering literally across the river. So like 3 kilometers from here is the United States. I literally just have to go a couple blocks over a bridge and then I'm in the United States. And just shipping it from there to here is like triple the cost of the order. It's ridiculous. All right. So we got some water boiling here. So I'm going to drop these in. Now one thing's for sure, you want to make sure that when you're putting baits in here, remember that the temperature of the baits that you're putting in will affect the temperature of the boiling water. So it will reduce the temperature, adding stuff if you put too much of this in. So you want to be careful of that. You want to keep it boiling. So don't put too many in. So we have them boiling. I had a little sieve spoon, but I don't know where to put it. I have my ladle. Everything good technically, Goldie?
Sure.
Sure. So normally I would have a timer going for about 2 minutes or so. Stop it. Stop it. So probably already been in there a minute. Not quite a minute. Wow. Now, one thing I can say for sure, they are retaining their color really well. They're actually kind of getting like a little bit brighter color. I'm liking these. I'm thinking these.
Well, I
might be
can tell
pretty
you the smell is upstairs now, and it's overpowering the cooking corn that I'm making.
You can smell this upstairs over the smell
corn.
of the big pot of corn.
Yeah.
And because we're sitting here, we don't notice it because we're used to
Well,
it.
I notice it because I keep coming back.
Yeah. But for me, I'm sitting here like I barely notice it now. I can still kind of smell it, but
Yeah.
that's amazing. Maybe, just maybe, it's because I spilled so much French vanilla in there. That could be it, because I spilled a lot in there. I need a plastic bag to put this in so it doesn't dry out. I had one. I moved it. All right, so it's been in there 2 minutes. Or just shy of 2 minutes. With pop-ups, I tend to do a little bit longer, do about 3 minutes. If I was doing boilies, I probably wouldn't have them in there long. Boilies, I'd probably do about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes tops. But pop-ups, I do a little bit longer, gives them a bit of a thicker skin, makes them a little bit more durable, and then I dry them for absolutely no less than 24 hours. I might start using some of them after about 36 hours, but overall, like if I do these on a weekend, it's usually for the following weekend where I'm going to start using them. Is this wet in here?
Nope.
What was in it?
Probably corn.
Okay. With this, you could throw these in a bag, put them in the fridge for a couple hours, and come back to this a little bit later. Just helps to keep it from drying out, keep some of the moisture in it. Stop. Cancel. Okay. So now we're going to take these guys out. Ooh. Drain the water out of this. I would drill holes in this ladle, but I want to use it for soup at some point. So what I always do is I get them all out onto a paper towel first, take some of that extra moisture off right away. Oh, wow. It smells better when it's hot.
Is there inappropriate comment now?
No, that's not.
Yeah, they're a little bit more purple than they were.
Yeah. It
Lots of
actually,
pinkness.
I think it actually improved the color,
Yeah.
the boil process, and it smells stronger now. And like I said before, sometimes that comes to just adding a little bit of flavor in the water before you boil them because they naturally would lose flavor in the water. So I usually have them on paper towel for 30 seconds or so to get the biggest part of the water off. Then into the drying tray. Shake them around. And they'll just kind of find their own spot to sit. And when you do a big batch, obviously you want to just try and keep them slightly separate, but shaking them around for 30 seconds to a minute, all that extra moisture tends to come off so they don't stick together. And then you go. Homemade pop-ups, custom flavor, custom color, custom shapes. But the nice thing is when you get your flavor mixes right, and again, it's going to vary water to water, but some of these baits that we've made have been incredibly successful everywhere. Others only do well in a few spots. We'll see what this one does, but that's how we go about it. Just kind of throw a few options in the air and go with it. So try it. Like don't be a slave to just, oh, I have to just do pineapple because pineapple is what works where I go. Well, if pineapple works where you go, buy some pineapple ones, use them. And my kind of rule that I always follow is once you've had a couple fish, you've saved your blank, experiment. So if you really know that they love pineapple, try adding something else to it and get like a pineapple something mix, or just something completely out of left field, like aniseed and French vanilla and milky toffee. And you never know, this might outdo pineapple on your water. So experiment, try it out. It's rewarding when you can catch on a homemade bait. Ask Will, he knows. As long as he's not using mint.
Yeah.
If he's using mint, he does not catch. It fails. His creamsicle, however, I will stand by that one. I've watched him catch with it a number of times. But there we go. Cool. How long have we been going?
71 minutes.
71 minutes. Wow, we've kind of hit our time frame for how long we usually do these.
Yep.
I guess we're kind of done. Anything else to add?
Tiger nuts.
Tiger nuts what?
Mix.
Like a tiger nut flavored pop-up? Why not just put some cork in tiger nut?
Get some tiger nut powder and add it into a flavor. Probably with something with a spice.
Like a spicy nuts?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like nutmeg or something like that. But go with a tiger nut.
It could be. I think we're going to do some more bait making through the wintertime, experimenting with some stuff to try in the spring. What else we got here?
Not much everyone went to sleep.
I don't think they went to sleep. I think I bored them to sleep. But I do appreciate, as I said, everybody joining in, watching, participating. It's fun. Like I said, I'm going to do up more of these in different sizes. But you can already feel, just rolling these around a bit, letting them sit for a few minutes, the outer shell is really hardened up, where they were just really sticky a moment ago when I dropped them out of the water. And, the shapes are odd. It helps. Nothing out in nature is perfectly round or perfectly dumbbell shaped. So having these slightly off shapes, honestly, I've flat out watched it. Otherwise I wouldn't have believed it, but I've watched fish take the same flavored bait, homemade versus commercially made. They've taken the oddly shaped one over perfectly round. It's weird, but it's worth trying. Don't you agree?
Sure.
Sure. Why don't we wrap up this live stream for October for
Before
Thanksgiving?
you do that.
What? You had the whole time to speak, and now you're doing it?
Well, no, I was going to say, we will have pictures from Monday if we catch anything with these, because this video won't be out until...
What's the schedule?
Let's see here.
What, Monday's video, you mean?
Yes, I'm going to shoot on Monday.
So we're looking at like almost December then.
Almost December before that video will come up.
Okay. Well, what we'll probably do is, we'll do some pictures, but we'll...
But yeah,
maybe we'll do like an Instagram live stream or something.
Instagram, and you can watch it there.
And I know most of the guys that were here they're following us on Instagram. Tell your friends. Our Instagram has been blowing up lately. We've had a lot of new followers, getting a lot new interaction on Instagram. So I'm trying to spend a little bit more time on that forum. Please follow us on Instagram. We're going to start doing some live videos on that as well, just short ones here and there. Little clips with what's going on, but for this month's live stream in October, Thanksgiving weekend, happy Thanksgiving. We're done. We've accomplished it. Homemade baits in 70 something minutes.
74 minutes now.
And we didn't even start right away, so
No.
there was at least 20 minutes wasted of me just talking. Haven't even gotten through an entire coffee yet. thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next month with our live stream and next week in a new video. Right?
Are you going to stop talking now?
Well, you could have just cut me off at any point.
I always do that, though.